What's up, world? My name is Sarah and welcome back to another episode of whatever it is that we're doing here. Delicious edibles project.
Or some honey.
Oh, I love honey. Body.
Maybe.
This time around, I'm adding some, that's not gonna happen in this video, lip balmies. It'll add just a tint, especially when it comes to lotions and potions. And testing it out kind of mixture. I would suggest using more, and then we're gonna whip it. Wait, let me get that. So a secret, which is no longer a secret. We're back in the kitchen, and today's kitchen adventure are not edibles or anything to do with eating, but the oils that I put on my body. We're experimenting with a couple of scrubs today, and it's a do-it-yourself delicious project. Now, you might remember I made a video last year. I think I named it Look Good Naked, and I showed how I make my own shea butter whipped body oily cream that I still use. This is not last year's batch, but I'm running low, so I'm making a new one. This time around, I'm adding some almond oil and argan oil that I have to the existing shea butter, cocoa butter, and jojoba oil that I did last year. But not to repeat myself, I am gonna use that as a base for little lip balmies. I have these small containers. We're gonna add some beeswax that I have, and a little trick that I learned, a lipstick of your choice. Obviously, if you don't want to add the lipstick, you don't have to. It'll add just a tint of color to your lip product. Now, if you don't want it, you can leave it out. It's perfectly fine. And I'm also trying out a couple of body scrubs with sugar. Now, last year I did a coffee scrub. I still use that. It's amazing. It works wonders. And today we are mixing a brown sugar mixture and a just regular white sugar as well. I now have all the ingredients in front of me. I also have these cute jars. The bigger ones are for the scrubs and the lotions that we're making, and these small containers are for the cute little lip balms that we're gonna make. Now, before we get into it, hit that like button below. It really helps me out. And let me know if you've done any do-it-yourself cosmetics or makeup or something you put on your body in your own kitchen. I'd love to hear, because I'm really into making it yourself. Especially when it comes to lotions and potions. And if you like this type of video with do-it-yourself projects or thrifting, hit that subscribe button and join the community. I'm so close to 200, and those two subjects are main videos that I usually do. I do venture out and do other things, but join the family because we would love to have you. Now, let's start by making the shea butter whipped body cream. Some of it is going to go in the jar and I'm going to use it as is. And like I said, some of it is going to be the base of our lip product that we're trying out. I've made this lip combination just before Christmas, so a while ago, and even though it was all right, I'm still trying to figure out how much of the beeswax I want in it to make the consistency just right. So I'm learning along with you in this do-it-yourself project. So first things first, let's mix the ingredients. All right, now the base is shea butter, and I like adding cocoa butter. These are the two products that I put into this mixture all the time. And the oils will vary on what I feel like, what I have. And you can also add essential oils, like if you want like a lavender touch or orange. Sounds to me delicious. And if you don't want anything, you don't have to put anything in it. Now, all of the ingredients are 100% what the label says. I like using 100% pure products. Even my peanut butter is 100%. That's not what we're gonna put on our bodies. But to me, these products that are 100%, they just look and feel so nice on your body. And that's why I use them. All right, enough jibber jabber. I'm going to add these to my bowl, and then we're gonna bring them to the stove. I have some boiling water behind me, and we're gonna melt them all together. Put them in the freezer for just about 5-10 minutes so it gets kind of like a hard layer on top. And then we're gonna whip them with our handy dandy hand whipping machine, and we'll save some aside to make the lip products. This is harder than the shea butter. It's just the consistency.
Gotta shave it off.
You have to shave it off, yes. And it does smell like cocoa, which it should, right? I'm bringing in the mussels to get this out of the jar. Sometimes the cocoa that I buy comes in like chunks that are in a kind of like a sandwich Ziploc bag, but this is a different brand I'm trying out, so. All right, now that we have the harder consistency main ingredients, I'm going to add the oils that I have. Now, I usually don't measure when I make this. This is kind of a eyeball, feeling it and testing it out kind of mixture. But I do want to say that because the shea butter and the cocoa butter are hard consistencies, the more of that type of ingredient, the more you're going to have to warm up the product when it's in your jar. So for instance, what I do, I warm up some water in the sink. I place this in the sink, and then I use the lotion after about 5 minutes because it warms up and it softens. I don't mind that, but if you don't want to warm it up and wait for it to soften, I would suggest using more coconut oil or almond oil or argan oil, something that's already soft and liquidy. Like the ratio is more of the oils that are already soft than the hard butter type, but that's kind of up to you. Like I said, it's a do-it-yourself mixture. All right, some coconut oil. I usually keep my coconut oil in the pantry so it's softer and some of it is liquefied. So now I don't remember if I mentioned this about coconut oil previously in my video, but if you use coconut oil, like let's say you like to put coconut oil in your hair, or you like to massage yourself or use it as a lotion, you want to be mindful when you wash it off, because this stuff will clog your pipes and plumbing when it goes down. So just something to keep in mind, that even though it is a magical, wonderful ingredient that you can use in your kitchen and in your hair and on your body, it's still dangerous for your home in the sense that you want to be mindful with that. All right, let's start with this amount. Now, when you put it on the heat and it comes to a liquefied mixture altogether, you can then kind of determine again, maybe you want a little more argan oil or a little more coconut oil, depending on how it feels and looks. But right now I think this is a good amount. Okay, let's put some jojoba oil. I love this stuff. We're putting in almond oil. Now, almond oil is a great oil, well, altogether, but if any men are watching and you are an avid beard man, almond oil is the perfect oil for your beard to keep it nice and soft. And yeah, it's also good for your skin, even if you don't have a beard. All right, the last product I'm adding to the base of our whipped shea butter mixture is some argan oil. This is again 100% argan oil, and I only have a little bit left, and I've been saving it for this purpose because I wanted to add argan oil to my mix. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna put this on the stove and melt them all together. Even though when I put it on, the water is almost boiling, I kind of turn it down to reduce the bubbling because I don't want any water to accidentally jump into the mixture of the oils. And it doesn't have to be boiling hot water, it's just, it needs to be hot enough to melt all the ingredients together. We're getting there. So like I mentioned, I'm going to capture a little bit of this mixture into a smaller bowl, and then I'm going to add the lipstick and beeswax for the little lip balms that we're gonna make. And the rest of this I'm going to put in the freezer, which we are then going to whip into the mentioned shea butter cream that I use. All right, now that our mixture is all combined and liquefied, you also want to be super careful because it is oil that's hot, not boiling, but you want to be careful. Now, like I mentioned, I'm going to pour some of this into a smaller container, add it to a pot of its own with water. We're going to add some of the beeswax and a lipstick. Now, the lipstick is optional as mentioned. I've used this once or twice. Now, if you were to make these for gifts or your friends or even to sell, obviously you wouldn't use a used lipstick. And depending on the color and the ratio with the oils, that's how strong the color is going to be on your lips. And this is me trying this for the second time, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out, but I'm hopeful. So we're going to add a little bit of our mixture to our bowl, smaller bowl, and then the larger portion of the mixture is going to go into the freezer for about 10 minutes so it gets a bit of like a hard layer, and then we're going to whip it with the electric machine thing. Now that's optional, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now we're gonna add the beeswax. Like I mentioned, this is just me testing it out. And last time, I think I put too much beeswax or not enough beeswax. And this time I'm just gonna do, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon for this amount. And then we're going to add the lipstick. Just cut it off from there. And then you can dig this out too. Scrape it off. And like I said, we're gonna put this back on the stove and melt all of this together. And then we're gonna add them to our little small cute containers. Okay, perfect. That's good. Okay, now that the lip product is heating up and mushing together, the other whippable shea butter is in the freezer. We're gonna make 2 sugar scrubs. Now, first one is with brown sugar. You could use probably any sugar, but I wanted to try brown sugar with coconut oil. That's it. We're gonna mix them together, add them to our jar. That just sounds super delicious, like you wanna eat it. All right, let's just do this. So a secret, which is no longer a secret, when I was about 3 years old and I used to live with my grandparents, I would sneak to the kitchen with our German Shepherd Sam, and I would go and get a tablespoon from the drawer and then sneak over to a jar that Grandma had brown sugar in and just go ham on the brown sugar. Like literally just take a spoonful of brown sugar. I probably give it to the dog too, let's be honest. But brown sugar is definitely one of my weaknesses. Even the smell of it is just delicious. All right, for this, we are going to add some brown sugar and a little bit of the coconut oil. And again, this is just, ooh, that looks about right kind of measurements. So about 3 tablespoons-ish, looks pretty good. And then the coconut oil, ooh, give this a little rinse. And some coconut oil. Ooh. I think the ratio is going to be a little more sugar than coconut oil. Okay, let's see. Ooh. I'm making a mess. Now this is a scrub you can literally eat. I don't recommend eating oil and sugar unless that's your diet and you love that, so it's none of my business. Now, sugar scrubs, like coffee scrubs, are very nice on the skin because, first of all, they're gentle enough, but they are effective enough. Also, I'm kind of wanting to do a salt scrub at some point, but that's for a different video. All right, I'm gonna grab it in my hand to see. I like the consistency. And the one thing that I love about making your own body scrubs is because I like that oily texture on your skin. And you can kind of see peeking through that my skin is oily. I think this ratio is good. I would say that this is 3 tablespoons of sugar and about 2 of the oil. So a little less oil than sugar, you should be good. The reason we have sugar is because that is going to gently exfoliate our skin and the oil is going to moisturize it. It's that simple. All right, let's put this in a container and make our second scrub. All right, I bought these cute glass containers. You can use Tupperware or whatever you have at home. And if you're making these as gifts, which are very cute, you can add like a label, or there's even like pens you can write on glass or whatever, like, and then you can reuse the container. All right, there's our first batch. Perfect. This is coming along. There's a little bit of melting to do, but we're slowly getting the beautiful color and texture, and then we can add them to our little containers. All right, while that's cooking along, we are making our second sugar scrub, and this too is super simple. It has 2 ingredients, and this is more of a dry skin. You could use this on your feet. I wouldn't necessarily, well, if you're super gentle, then you can use this on your face as well, but it's going to have sugar and lemon juice. Now, I haven't tried this with actual lemon. I usually use this, I was gonna say artificial lemon, but I usually use the container lemon you get at the store, and you want to be careful because it's going to dry your skin. So like I said, if you do use it on your face, be very gentle. You could maybe add some oil to this mixture to make it more gentle on your face. But for this scrub, for me, I'm just going to put the sugar and the lemon, and that's that. All right, let's see. We'll do, I don't know, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm gonna say, let's do 2 tablespoons of the lemon and then see if we need to add a little more. Ooh, I'm making a mess. All right, so that's 2. That looks pretty good. If you have stinky feet, which is nothing to be ashamed of, this will be a magical potion for your stinky feet. So what you do is you go into the shower, you grab a handful or a small bit of this delicious smelling and probably tasting mixture, and you scrub your feet with it. It's that simple. Now, I might actually add just a little more sugar to this, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna put maybe 1, or maybe I should use the spoon. I'll put 1 tablespoon and see, maybe a little more. Oh yeah, there we go. That's perfect. All right, we're gonna add this to our container and then attack our lip product. All right, now I don't need to label these myself, but if you were to give them as a gift, that could be a nice suggestion so people know what kind of goop you're giving them. I can't wait to try these out, but before that, let's do our lip products. All right, this is our lip balm mixture. Now, obviously it is liquid, but we are going to add them to our containers, let them cool off, and they should be good to go after that. All right, now that these are in their containers, you don't want to put the lid on them until they harden and cool off. So I'm just going to set them here on the counter so they can cool off, and then we can whip our shea butter cream. All right, this has been in the freezer for about 20 minutes now, and it has like a layer. It's not frozen, but it has a bit of a layer to it. And what we're gonna do, if you've seen the previous video, we're gonna whip it with a hand mixer and add it to our containers. And then we have the most delicious, beautiful product for your skin and hair. Oh my goodness, these turned out super cute. They even look delicious, like whipped cream delicious. And I usually store them in just my cupboard. You don't have to put them in the freezer, or that sounds weird. Anyhow, if the consistency isn't soft enough, like I said, you can put them in some hot water and that will loosen it up a little bit, or you can pop it onto your radiator or any other warming up techniques that you have. I will also go in with my nail and just warm it up in the palm of my hands sometimes. And like I said, you can use this on your body, on your skin, or in your hair. I usually like to put it on right after I come out of the shower and just lather my whole body in it. And this stuff is good for babies as well. Now, if you are allergic to one of the ingredients, you can just leave that one out. And the measurements is a very feely kind of measurement. Like I said, usually the shea butter and the cocoa butter are my main ingredients, and then I go from there. Now, this might not be as hard of a consistency because I did add more oil to this batch, and I go through these jars like underwear. Now, I get the shea butter and the cocoa butter off of Amazon, but you can find them in your local health food stores. Some of the grocery stores might have them, or other online stores. And well, coconut oil, almond oil, these you can find at your grocery stores. And yeah, I'm thinking that avocado oil might be next on my list. And I'm intrigued by carrot oil. I've used carrot oil as is on my face for years, but I haven't added it to the mixture. So if you have any oil recommendations, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your suggestions are. All right, now I want to test the lip balms. They have now cooled off and the consistency looks really nice. I like the color, and there's actually no color that's coming off, but that's not the point. I like how cute it is, and it smells like the shea butter mixture. And I don't know, I think this batch turned out a little better than the previous one. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure in the kitchen again. I really love this type of, not cooking, but experiment, making your own lotions in the kitchen. Another ingredient that I would like to incorporate into something similar is lavender, like the flower buds. I'm not sure how to do that. If you have suggestions, let me know. You can also find me on Instagram, where you can send me messages on your suggestions and ideas. Remember to hit that like button, it really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel so you can find your way back for next week's video. Take care now. Right, let me get that.
Chandler!
Jamoin. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
I'm not cutting. I'm gonna get it. I'm not cutting. Fuck. I mean, dang it.
That's not gonna happen in this video.
Or some honey.
Oh, I love honey.
One